Good day, everyone. Welcome to Vlogmas with Parker. That's not right. Welcome, everyone, to Adventures with Parker. Today is day 4 of Vlogmas. Oh my goodness, we are a third of the way through. It is getting super close to Christmas. I am so excited. Christmas is one of my favorite times of year. Oh, I need to put on my Christmas light necklace. There we go, much better. I'll put it on to a less intense setting. There we go. Anyways, as I was saying, Christmas is one of my favorite times of year. I love it so much. And so today, I thought I would talk about some of my favorite Christmas traditions. So I'll talk about some traditions from my childhood, as well as some traditions from more recent years, and also kind of look at how some of those things are going to change for this year in 2020. Anyways, I am super excited to get into this episode, so without any further ado, let the adventures begin. Alright, so when I think of family and Christmas traditions, I always think of my extended family Christmas party that we do every year. So every year, usually a week or two before Christmas, all of my aunts and uncles and cousins will all get together for a big Christmas party and Christmas dinner. I believe this was actually started by my grandma. She used to host it at the Kinsman Hall in my hometown. But for as long as I can remember, each family would take turns hosting, so we'd all go over to one of the family's houses, and yeah, it's an awesome time. But my grandma ends up hosting more often than everyone else just because she likes doing it, so she kind of takes over. Oh, and in case you guys weren't aware, I grew up living with my grandparents. And I mean, to a degree, I still do. I'm in kind of my own house while I'm at school, but I still crash there in the summer, so, you know. But yeah, basically everyone would arrive in the afternoon, and we just spend hours just hanging out and talking and eating appetizers like brie cheese and just lots of cheese. There's a lot of cheese. Normally all my cousins get together and we'd play some video games together and just talk and just have a good time, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. Then of course we'd have our big Christmas dinner. Some years it was like, you know, your traditional Christmas dinner with turkey and stuffing and potatoes and all that good stuff. But some years we switched it up. One year we had a pork roast that was rolled up in stuffing, so it was like alternating layers of pork stuffing, and oh my goodness, it was so good. Delicious. Then after supper, we'd have desserts, so each family would bring some desserts to share. My one aunt makes tai every year, and if you guys don't know what tai is, it's this Dutch pastry. It's traditionally made for Sinterklaas, which is I believe it's in early December. Basically, it's the day that Santa Claus comes in the Netherlands. Anyways, it kind of tastes like licorice, kind of. It's like a licoricey tasting bread. And it's kind of got like a tough texture to it. It's really good though. I mean, I guess it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I enjoy it. I'm a huge fan. It's something I look forward to every year. But I mean, we also have things like pumpkin pie, Christmas cookies. So if you're not a fan of the tie, there are other options. And then the last thing we do at the end of the night is we'd have a gift exchange among us cousins. So every year we'd have to pick names and we'd have to buy a present for whichever cousin you picked. And then after the exchanging was all done, we'd all draw names out of a hat, and that was the person you had to buy a gift for the following year. We actually haven't done that in the recent years. I guess the kind of mentality is like, oh, all the cousins are grown up, we don't need to do that anymore. But it was fun. I would still love to do that. You're not too old for presents. Like, no, I don't need like a Lego set, but I can still use stuff. But yeah, that whole party is something I look forward to every year. It is so much fun. And it's also one of the only times I really get to see my cousins in the year, so it's great to catch up with them and see all my aunts and uncles too. I mean, obviously with COVID, we decided not to do that, especially because we're coming out of a lot of different areas, but I think we're just doing like a card exchange or something this year. Another big thing that's always a part of my Christmas traditions is church. So, I mean, church is a big part of my life throughout the year, but especially at Christmas. Christmas services are always a big part of Christmas. When I was younger, we actually used to have 2 church services. So we used to have one earlier in the day, like around 4 o'clock or so, and that one was more of a children's Christmas service. So we'd sing Christmas carols, and then we'd have birthday cake afterwards in our church parish hall. And you know, we'd have birthday cake for Jesus, and we sang happy birthday for Jesus, and it was really cute and kind of corny, but I mean, there was cake involved, so you can't really go wrong. And then after that, there was a later service. It was called the midnight service, although I never remember it being at midnight. It's always been around 9 o'clock or so, and that was more like our traditional Christmas Eve service. So more Christmas carols and Christmas readings from the Bible and all that good stuff. But the thing that really separated that second service out from the first is that every year we turn off all the lights in the church, everyone is given candles, and we'd sing Silent Night, and it is just so beautiful. Yeah, I love it so much. It is so pretty to look around the church all lit up in candles and just everyone singing. It's so nice and peaceful and beautiful. So in recent years, we've stopped doing both services and we just stuck with the second one that I described. Still, it's always a really nice service. The last couple of years, I've actually done some solos every year. I usually do solos in my church every Christmas and Easter, and sometimes I do one in September for our Welcome Back Sunday. Some of the songs I've done include Let There Be Peace on Earth. I've done Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen, but with different lyrics that tell the Christmas nativity story. Because I mean, the original lyrics to that song aren't really all that church appropriate. One year, I even sang a song that the organist in my church wrote. So it was really special that I could do that for him and just share something that he wrote with the church. Now, of course, this year we aren't having any services right now. All of our services are online, but we are going to do something special for Christmas. So, fun fact, I'm actually the editor for all my church's services. So we have a little service team, and they go in every Monday and film everything, and then I get sent the clips afterwards, and I basically edit them throughout the week, and then I upload it to our church's YouTube channel for Sunday. And that's exactly what we're going to do for Christmas this year. I'll be given a bunch of clips and I'll edit them and we'll put together something nice that's different from our normal Sunday to Sunday service. Another big thing that I always do around Christmas time is visit the Simcoe Panorama. Now, I did have a vlog on the channel from that, but it was a bit of a mess and it was mashed in with a bunch of other random clips from around Christmas, so I since privatized it, and I meant to refilm it this year, but unfortunately it's not happening this year. But basically, it's this huge light display in Simcoe, Ontario. They basically take one of the town's parks, a couple parks actually, it kind of just spills from one park into the other. It's absolutely huge. But basically there's a bunch of Christmas lights and different Christmas displays. There's a little Santa's workshop, there's little nursery rhyme scenes, there's of course nativity scenes, there's a Christmas dragon. What else do they have? They have a horse-drawn trolley going all the way through everything, and there's also booths selling hot chocolate and apple cider. It's this whole big thing. It's absolutely amazing. I was gonna do a vlog about it this year, but with COVID and everything, they decided not to do it, which is unfortunate because I was really looking forward to it, but oh well, there's always next year. But yeah, anyways, I used to go to the Panorama a couple times every year. The first time would be for my birthday, actually. So my birthday is at the end of November, so my friends would get together, we'd have a party at my house, and then after dinner, we'd go to Simcoe to the movie theater. Usually around that time, the Hunger Games movies were coming out. So for a while, that's what we'd go see, and then once that series wrapped up, we started seeing the Fantastic Beasts series. One year I think we saw Coco. But anyways, after the movie was done, we'd stop at the Panorama, and of course my family wanted to get home, so we'd basically run all the way through it, and we'd take like 5 or 10 minutes to see as much as we can, and then we'd run back to the van and go home. But then we always returned for New Year's Eve. So we used to have dinner at the Wendy's that was in town, and then we'd walk down to the park and we'd spend a good hour or so just walking through everything. Yes, it does take that long. There's that much to see. And then we'd go to Tim's and get some hot chocolate, and then we'd go to whoever was hosting our friend group's New Year's Eve party that night. Okay, now let's talk about what I actually do on Christmas Eve. So I already mentioned church, but apart from that, my family, I mean, we don't really do too much, but we have dinner together. And when I was younger, we always used to look up the NORAD Santa tracker. So I would look and see where Santa is in the world while he's making his runs. And I totally believed it. They sold me on it. It's like, yep, Santa is real. They're tracking him. There's radar. There's no way that this could all exist if he wasn't real. There he is, right there. And then my grandpa and I would have some eggnog together. Like I said in my last video, my grandma did not partake. And then I put out some milk and cookies for Santa, and then went to bed. Now when I got older, like in high school and all that, we used to have foster kids actually. So I would help my grandparents wrap presents for them, and I'd help take them and put them under the tree, and then I'd go to bed. And that was cool. I got to be a part of that whole process, and it was a lot of fun to play Santa for them. And then for Christmas morning, not so much anymore, but definitely when I was younger, I used to get up at 5 in the morning. Of course, I couldn't wait. I was so excited. I had to be up as early as possible, and I'd go downstairs, I'd see all the presents under the tree, and then I'd organize them. I would make little piles, so like this pile was mine, this pile was grandma's, this pile was grandpa's. So yeah, everything was all good and ready to go for when we unwrap them. And then I'd turn on the TV and I'd watch Disney Channel. So back then, when it was like 6 a.m. on Christmas morning, they always showed like the older Disney Channel shows. So like That's So Raven, Sweet Life, Lizzie McGuire. They would have a whole run of all those shows, and I would just sit there and watch them and love them because those shows were amazing. And then usually around 7 or 8, my grandparents would finally wake up, and they had to have their coffee first. Of course, you can't really do much else until they've had their coffee. But once that's all taken care of, we would go down, we would unwrap presents, and then after that, we would share a big Christmas breakfast together. Now these days, obviously, I don't wake up at the crack of dawn anymore, but we still do coffee and then presents, and we still have our big breakfast. And of course, now that I'm a big boy, we get to have mimosas. And yeah, that was Christmas in my house. So yeah, those are a few of my Christmas traditions. This year, I mean, I'm pretty much gonna be doing Christmas morning the same way. I'm gonna be going home to my grandparents, and I don't think much will really change in that department. But obviously with COVID and everything, like I said, we couldn't have our family party this year, and we're not gonna be doing church in person, but we'll still have church online, which will be still fun and great as always. And of course this year I'll be starting some new traditions. So now that I have Michael in my life, we got to start making some Christmas traditions of our own. So I know his family does board games every Christmas Eve, so this year I get to be a part of that, and we're planning on making some sangria together. So I'm really looking forward to that, and that'll be a lot of fun. So yeah, I mean, traditions change, but really, as long as you keep the spirit of Christmas, that's all that matters, right? Anyways, I'd love to hear some of your Christmas traditions, which you can put down in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys do and how you celebrate the season. Anyways, be sure to subscribe, Here on Adventures with Parker, we do videos on theme parks, travel, and local attractions. Also be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at ADPParker. With that, happy Vlogmas, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, stay safe, and remember, the adventures are calling. See ya!
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas.